What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hot Wheels Unleashed is out on GeForce Now, and the game's running great on the service. So let's go ahead and get into it and take a look. We're going to try a couple of different settings and talk about some of the performance here. But before we do that, as usual, I'd like to show you what rig we're on here. So for Hot Wheels, we do have, if you hit your Control Alt F6, you can check out your rig. We do have the 2060C here, and I'll Control N to bring up the network stats over here, and my ping, packet loss, stream, FPS, and that type of thing over there. As far as our game settings, we're 1080p, full screen, no Vsync yet. We'll do that in a little bit. We're going to use dynamic FPS, pretty much going to give us unlimited. We're going to be on ultra for everything, but of course, as always, going to turn that motion blur off for this. And then we'll get into a little bit of the first race that we have here. But then we're going to change the settings and do some Vsync cap 60, because I think, honestly, that's the way to go here. One thing I love about when you start this game is you get to open up 3 packs of cars to get you started. And they are random, so they're not always the same. And it's really cool. It's really a fun mechanic in the game. So as we get into the first race here, you'll see our FPS, of course, like I said, is uncapped. It's going to do whatever it wants to there. And it can run some pretty high FPS on this build, and the game looks great. But like I said, I think the sweet spot for me was to cap this at 60 with Vsync on and keep the other settings the same, and it actually feels even better. Now, both ways, either way, the latency felt great. I was using my Xbox controller with Bluetooth here, playing this through the app on PC, and as usual for me, no issues with latency. It really felt tight on here, and was great. So no major issues with any of that. But even with the high FPS, it's just when you're streaming 60 on cloud, and even though, you know, maybe if you're doing some first-person shooter or something, you might want to have a higher FPS running on the local machine, even though you're only streaming 60. I get it, but for games like this, I really think that capping that is the way to go. So we'll take a look at that here in just a second, watch a little bit more of this race, and then we'll switch over the settings and move to another race. Alright, so let's go ahead back into our options. Now, another thing too is AI difficulty. You're probably going to want to bump that up. I have it on easy for testing here, but yeah, you're not going to have any trouble. It's definitely very, very easy. Now, turn on Vsync here. I'm going to change our FPS to a cap 60, which should happen with Vsync anyway on there, but we'll do that just to be sure, and then all the rest of the settings the same. Now, for me, like I said, this just ran and felt even better than the unlocked. I just think this is kind of the way to go here, but experiment with it and see what works best for you. And if you're going to use Vsync, you'll most likely want that turned on in your streaming app for GeForce Now as well. But again, that's a setting you can play with. See what works best for you, see what looks the best, and see how the latency is, see what feels the best when you're playing this game or any other, and you'll figure out what settings work best for you in most of your gaming. But alright guys, if you want to check out some more of this race and some more gameplay, I'm really enjoying this game. I know I'm going to be a bit addicted for a while, especially opening up cars, but I left this whole race in the video for you. A couple more minutes of the game if you want to check it out here running on GeForce Now, full 1080p 60 on the PC app. Alright guys, as always, thanks a lot for coming to check out the video. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, and leave me your comments below. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next one.